and welcome to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, USA, where for the third year in a row, the Beach Volleyball Major Series, part of the FIVB World Tour, presents Fort Lauderdale Major 2018. And this is how the ball is being delivered for the gold medal match. The USA going up against Italy. And it's the Red Bull Air Force with Sean McCormack and Miles Deischer bringing a spectacular start to this gold medal match with a bird's eye view of the Red Bull Beach Arena. Coming into the beach village with all of the fans waiting for the match ball to be delivered as the world's best are at the heart of the center court in the very last match of this Fort Lauderdale Major. Joining myself, Nick Fellows, in the commentary box is America's own Olympic champion, Dane Blanton, who will be giving us his expert analysis over this USA versus Italy. Dane, it is the best of Europe versus the best of the USA in the first major of the season.
So much experience on the court. You're talking about the silver medalist from the 2016 Olympics in Italy, and then big Phil Dalhausser and his partner Nicolai-Lucena. Of course, Phil, a gold medalist in 2008 in Beijing. So, wow, talk about experience, fire, and both of these teams had unbelievable semifinal appearances last night. They're looking to bring that kind of entertainment and fire here in the gold medal final.
Center court is packed to its 5,000 capacity. This really does promise to be a fitting finale to what has been an amazing tournament here in Fort Lauderdale. Let's take a quick look at the referees. They will be busy and keeping their eagle eye on the rule book. Papa Douglas from Greece is referee number 1, and Carlos Riviera from Puerto Rico is our second referee. 4 of the biggest names in the sport are out there. Dane, let's get up close and personal.
Let's first start with Paolo Nicolai. He is 29 years of age, 204 centimeters, translates to 6'8" tall. He's a blocking specialist. The great thing about both these teams, they have a designated blocker, a designated defender. You're gonna see Paolo Nicolai up at the net. He's an offensive force. He takes up a lot of area, and this guy is hard to stop. His partner, the man with maybe the most style on the sand, his name is Nicolai-Lupo. He wears that tilted trucker lid, and he can move. Don't be deceived by the smooth, mellow personality. This guy brings it. He is an entertainer, and he knows how to convert. Once he gets that ball up in the air, look for him to put it down. Loves to hit right out of the middle of the court. A little bit uncharacteristic. On the other side of the net, there's big Phil Dalhausser from the United States. Maybe the most dominant male player in the history of the sport. He is a 2008 Olympic gold medalist with his former partner, Todd Rogers. Now he and his new partner, Nicolai-Lucena, have dominated, winning the World Tour Finals last year in Hamburg. They also won the Major Series in Stade, and they're looking to grab another Major Series title. He's been voted best setter 7 times on the FIVB Tour, best blocker 7 times as well. He's completely dominant. Look for him to own the net. His partner, they call him Nick the Quick. Nicolai-Lucena, he is the hometown boy, a graduate of Florida State University. He is now 38 years of age, but I'll tell you what, he is quicker than ever. This guy is the local favorite, so plan to have that crowd behind him the entire time. You see how focused he is. He knows how important it is. He would love to bring home gold.
Well, the crowd are already on their feet applauding these 4 gladiators out on course, looking to do battle for the first gold medal in the Major Series, $40,000 US in prize money to the winning team. But with this being so early in the season, it is so important for both these two countries to kickstart their 2018 campaign with a big result. RTBS, one of the big breakthroughs in beach volleyball, real-time body sensors to give us more technical detail on the performance of the players, but we all stand for the national anthem.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
America's one and only major FIVB World Tour event for 2018. It's a capacity crowd here in the Red Bull Beach Arena. 5,000 spectators, all hoping and cheering for the #1 seeds, Phil Dalhausser and Nicolai-Lupo. The quality of the four players on court is unbelievable out there. Now, who takes the first gold of the season? The USA have won the toss, put Italy in to serve. Nicolai-Lupo looks for the first point on the board, over the block. Here's Lupo for Italy. Good cover by Lucena, set from Dalhausser. Oh, and there's the big Italian block, and that's what Team USA need to be aware of and try and work around Dane. First point on the board for Italy.
It's going to be a blocking battle between Paolo Nicolai and Phil Dalhausser. Nicolai 6'8", Phil 6'9". Whoever owns the net could be victorious, and it's going to be a big challenge for Nicolai-Lupo to side out against Paolo Nicolai.
Perfect start for the Italians. All the pressure on the Europeans playing away from home.
That ball gets stuck right in between the arms. He throws it straight down. Paolo Nicolai, a force at the net.
Lupo with the service, targeting Nicolai-Lupo. Lucena on the attack. Cross court, good cover from the Italian who looks to finish it. Big Phil Dalhausser puts the first American point on the board to a rapturous applause from the crowd.
The United States, a big key is to find out who they should go to early on. Right there, a huge block on Lupo, and Lupo, as you see offensively, he likes to hit out of the middle of the court. That gives him all sorts of angles, just like that one right there. Hitting the sideline, he is so effective. Traditionally, players like to set on the outside near the antennas. He likes to set right in the middle of the court, and look at his precision.
That's the Italian style and flair that they bring to the game. There's the big man, Nicolai, with service. Big jump serve, a little too long, a little too deep. Scores are all tied at 2-all. That was possibly, Dane, the one flaw in Nicolai's game in the semi-final, that big serve.
I agree. Last night, it was not firing. If he can get a few points from his tough serve, it could really put Italy in a good position.
Good shot again from Lupo, who's come out firing on all cylinders, putting all three of the Italian points on the board.
Another thing we need to watch for is who comes out serving tougher. We've already seen Paolo Nicolai really go for it. And let's take a look at this running jump float serve from Lupo.
Another good set from Dalhausser. Lupo has it covered in the defense. Now on the attack for Italy. Goes over the top, just to the side of Dalhausser's block. It's a good start for the Italians. Already with a break on the scoreboard at 4-2.
Big question right there. Nicolai-Lupo hits it right at Lupo. He's going to need to side out, and then Lupo converting, just squeaking that ball underneath the left arm of Phil. So close to being a block, but that's how Lupo plays. He will frustrate you.
Service error from Lupo. Now with 7 points on the board, there's a side switch, a change of ends, just to make sure there's no advantage from the wind or the sunlight. But I have to say, this centre court here cuts out the wind, the light conditions are perfect. This is beach volleyball at a world-class best. Confirmation that the weather is perfect for the game. 22 degrees Celsius of temperature, humidity in its 50s, and the wind fluctuating at around about 7 to 8 miles per hour. Shouldn't be a problem for the players out there. Dane, big ace serve from Lucena.
Lucena going right down the middle of the court. As I said, serving pressure is going to be key right now. Both teams trying to establish themselves, but it's USA striking first with the ace.
Nicolai on the attack for Italy. Tries to get that very fine cut on the ball, but it drops on his own court. Sand, and here's the lead back with USA at 5-4.
Last night, the Italians played the Brazilians. Their biggest blocker was Pedro at 6'4". Now, Nicolai, seeing the 6'9" fill in his face, could be intimidating.
Lupo attacks for Italy over the top of Dalhausser's block. Great cover from Lucena, and an equally as impressive finish. Oh, and Lupo, saved by his partner, but didn't expect the ball to come his way, puts it into the net.
You're going to see some of the best defense you will ever see here because the shots have to be high. That gives the defenders just a little half step more to get to the ball, as Lucena does. He goes right off the face of Paolo Nicolai, and then the chip shot by Lupo in the top of the net. Look at that ball suspended. Great focus and concentration by Nicolai to get it up in the air.
Now here's an interesting tactic. The Italians have called a timeout, Dane. Each team is allowed to call one 1-minute break in each set, but it's a very early call from Team Italy.
Yeah, but they know that they cannot let it get away. Look at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. 4 consecutive points for the United States. Last night, when Italy was playing Brazil, we never saw a 4-point run in that first set. It was just a couple of points here and there, back and forth. Right now, the United States is applying pressure to Italy, and they don't want this thing to get out of hand to where they cannot recover.
This is Lupo on the left of your screen, Daniele Lupo, and Paolo Nicolai, the giant, to the right. Nicolai is 29 years of age, but is 6'8". That's 203 centimeters. And the Italians will be hoping that Nicolai can trade off blocks with Dalhausser, the American blocker, at the net. But with the break now with the United States of America, the Italians are just hoping by calling that timeout to break the focus and momentum of the Americans. Lucena with service.
Oh, a double contact is called. We have not seen that yet, but immediately Papadopoulos sets a standard, the head referee. If that ball hits your hand not simultaneously, it's called the double contact, or if it sticks too long in your hands, they'll call a lift. And that was a very tight call. It's a judgment call, but no argument from the players.
Lupo gets blocked by Dalhausser.
Double contact right there. It got blocked right off of him, and you saw Phil motioning immediately that he wanted to challenge that and stop the play. He stuffed the ball right on Nicolai's shoulder. That's one contact, and there's two. You cannot hit the ball consecutively unless the first contact is a block. So a violation for Italy and a point for the United States.
Phil Dalhausser does not miss a trick with his eagle eye at the net. 4 clear now, the USA in the first set. Oh, and there is another ace from Lucena. And that is going to take the USA into a 5-point lead. And now the Americans firing on all cylinders.
It's all about serving pressure. Serving the left shoulder of Lupo. He shanks it. Paolo Nicolai trying to get there, but can't make it in time. Phil trying the little turn and burn right there. When you're up in the air suspended and someone just roll shots it over to the top, you want to try to land as fast as you can, turn, and then explode out of that position to make the play. But the shot that time by Lupo, just a little bit too good. There's the move. There's Phil trying to get that shot in a playable spot, but it ends up hitting the net outside the antenna.
Nicolai finally gets that big, powerful serve and sends it right to Dalhauser. Lupo gets a hand there, but it's off the sand.
So close, but right now the United States just a half step ahead of Italy on every single play.
Great call, Dane. And there's an air of confidence about the Americans as well.
Yeah, I got to speak to both Phil and Nick as they were warming up outside, and their coach, Jason Lockhead, and they seemed relaxed, very comfortable. They knew that they had a big challenge ahead, but I think they know exactly what to do to execute. Game plan to kind of mix it up. They're not going to go particularly one way unless they start to smell blood and someone has a lot of unforced errors. This is Paolo Nicolai going high over the block and finding the deep corner.
It's an important side out for Italy to stop America running away with this first set. And this time it goes off the block of Nicolai. The shot from America's Nicolai-Lupo, 11-6. Again, comfortably 5 clear.
Nice roll right over the net. Many know, but many do not, that Phil and Nick began playing together on the sands of Florida and rose all the way to the top in 2005, actually winning their first domestic event on the AVP Tour. Then they went separate ways. Phil teaming up with Todd Rogers, winning a gold medal in 08. But in 2015, Phil and Nick got back together again to make a run at the Olympic Games, where they finished 5th in 2016, and they continue to play well as that ball goes into the bottom of the net. The thing with Phil and Nick is the chemistry, the friendship. You can see there's a relaxed attitude, and they're just so comfortable playing together, and that does not bode well for the opposition.
Italians are struggling to find the answers here. It's a very good point you make, Dave. They found a real nice tempo and rhythm, and that points graphic just explains quite clearly how that tempo is putting points on the board at a rapid rate. Again, a good turn and burn from Dalhauser, and he's put another one away. Well, we never expected it to go quite this well for Team USA. 14-6. I'm not sure it's the moment that they're struggling with, a bit of nerves, the Italians. They've won an Olympic silver medal, 3 times European champions, but this is not the way the Italians played yesterday night in the semis.
No, you really thought they would come out playing a little cleaner, but this is a different opponent on the other side of the net, and Phil Dalhausser can change your entire offense. That's the size of block that he puts up. And right now you can tell the Italians a little bit rattled, a little bit off their game, trying to get back on track.
And the USA continue to capitalize from that lack of rhythm from Italy. Here's Lupo up at the net. Lucena gets a hand there, over on 2 from Dalhauser. Little poke, now a set. Dalhauser goes over the block again. Lupo over on 1. And that is a good play from the Italian Daniele Lupo. And it's a much-needed point for Team Italy.
Much needed. Wow, a 14-7 technical timeout. You don't see that very often. Wow, the United States just dominated.
1 minute of rest, technical timeout, but the USA controlling this opening set in the gold medal match.
Major dancers.
Well, the local crowd are loving this early form from the Americans. Dane, the million-dollar question for you right now. What do the Italians need to do? Let's first of all take a look at the service placement and see if that gives us any of the answers for the Italians, quite simply, to get back into this match.
Well, as I said, with the United States, they were going to kind of go down the middle. They obviously started to go to Lupo because they are scoring points by putting Phil's big block in his face and Nick's running down everything that he puts there. So that's their strategy right now. What Italy needs to do, maybe go over on 2, some option plays by Paolo Nicolai, maybe mix it up a little bit. There's a variety of things, but they have to serve tougher.
At the halfway point of the first set of the gold medal match here at the Fort Lauderdale Major for 2018. It's an impressive start for Team USA, 14 points to 7. Italy clearly on the back foot. The Americans have come out with a brilliant game from the get-go, and the Europeans are struggling to find the answers.
All over the back line, a foot fault. It was so obvious. I usually don't really even look down there, but he was creeping in. He got so close to the line, and he kind of tripped on it twice there. There it is. There's a foot fault, and again. So clear, this is going to be the United States point. So maybe a little lack of focus on that last break coming out for Paolo Nicolai.
Yeah, clearly the Italians are thinking strategy, not thinking about the basics. But in a gold medal match at the major series, well, you really don't expect to see the Italians picking up foot points when they're in such trouble here. 15-7. Here's Phil Dalhausser with service. The USA can coast a little here to take this first set. Lupo with the set for Nicolai. And that's a better shot. A better shot for Nicolai, a point on the board, and hopefully a little boost to the Italians' confidence.
And you said the United States could kind of cruise a little, but that's not what they do. Phil actually breaks out an even harder jump serve. They know that you cannot give the opposition any hint of letting up, because it can happen quickly. This is such a game of momentum. You gotta really capitalize when someone's giving you some errors and really finish them off, because at any moment Italy can turn this thing around and start ripping some serves.
So just put 2 quick points down on the board. Still 6 behind. Oh, 5 behind. 3 very quick points for the Italians coming out of the tech timeout. That's the sport. That is why it's such a beautiful sport, beach volleyball. The situation can turn so quickly. And from a point of thinking that this first set was over, Italy give themselves a slim chance.
Beautiful set right there, and a use of the block. We call that tooling the block. Nicolai-Lucena, one of the best out there doing it. He has to face some giants, right? Nick 6'1", he has to go up against 6'8", sometimes 7-footers, so you got to get creative, and that time using the block by hitting the block and the ball going out of bounds.
Here's Lucena with a big serve to Lupo.
And Lupo right there, a little change of pace, kind of an off-speed shot through the block, just a little bit off. If he tries to power that ball, maybe Phil blocks it straight down, but he hits it about 80%, changes the pace, and ends up with a kill.
Nicolai serves to Lucena. Dalhausser with the set for his partner. Little poke, set. Good cover from Nicolai-Lucena, who now looks to finish and does so in style. 17-11, and that could be the turning point now, where the Americans start to stamp their authority on this first set.
What's happening right now is Lupo usually converts and puts that ball down immediately, but Nick is playing such great defense in the backcourt, and he knows the shots. Look at that full extension, both arms, controlling the ball, and then Nick's able to get up, and a little off-speed shot of his own goes off the block of Paolo Nicolai for the kill.
Olympic gold medalist Phil Dalhausser with service. Lucena 22 jumps to Lupo as well. Wow, and it's an ace. An ace at the turning point of this first set. Team USA can do no wrong at the moment. Perfection from Dalhausser.
Both Phil and Nick are serving tough with intent every time they get to that back line, and it's paying off.
Nicolai, oh, he's beaten by Dalhausser. What athletic skill from the big American.
Great form. Look at him. Wait for it. He sees that it's going to be a shot, and therefore delays his jump, goes up with one hand, and throws it back to the main part of the court, assuring that that ball ends up in. This is two giants going at it. 6'8" Italy, 6'9" USA.
41 blocks, top blocker in the tournament now, Dalhausser. and one senses there's more to come. Well, that was well left by Italy. Looked from our commentary position here, perched right on top of the grandstand to be going down to the baseline, but it was just over. All Team USA needs to do here right now is side out off Lupo's serve, and it's set point. Lucena does just that. Beautiful shot.
Remember, any part of the ball touches any part of the line, it's ruled in. And there's a look at the block on the previous play, but that last roll shot by Nicolai-Lucena was precision accuracy.
Here's Lucena with service, looking to wrap up this first set. It's a shank receive. Italy are in all kinds of trouble. But spectacular play from the Europeans to keep the ball up. Lucena tries again for the set point. Lupo's off balance. Nicolai's on the sand. The ball is still up. Third time of asking for the USA to wrap up the first set. Lupo now. And it's Dalhauser. 42 blocks in the tournament. Amazing play from the Americans. Dane, credit where it's due. Italy fighting to stay in the first set, but they have no answer for Team USA right now.
Well, the United States looked like they were going to win that set early on, but they just put an exclamation point on that set. It couldn't have ended any worse right there for the Italians, because it's a long rally. It took up all sorts of energy, and it ends with Phil Dalhausser absolutely throwing another ball right back at the Italians. As you mentioned, Nick, 42 blocks on the season, 3 blocks on the day. The United States out to an incredible start.
Right here, slow down, slow. Come on, a little bit faster than that, but slow. Nice.
Well, nobody quite expected the Americans to come out with such an amazing game and with so many of the answers to the Italian team that have been undefeated throughout this tournament, winning every one of their matches coming into this final. The Americans have done exactly the same, Dane, but not dropped a set. And it's that air of confidence that Team USA have brought to this gold medal match that seems to be quite simply just unsettling the European champions.
Yeah, I mean, you run into a brick wall with Phil and Nick when they're firing on all cylinders. Obviously, the block timing of Phil right now is just impeccable. He sees exactly what's happening, if it's going to be a hit or a shot, and he's adjusting. Nick in the backcourt, if you get past Phil, you got to deal with him, and he is quick, lightning quick, getting just about his hand on every single one of the shots, and that can be frustrating for the Italians. They are going to have to keep their poise.
And a quick word, Nicolai-Lupo has 5,000 of the spectators on his side.
Yeah, this is his home crowd, and you're starting to hear it.
21-12 to Team USA in the first set. It's a must-win situation for Italy in this second if it is to go to a third. They've yet to drop a set, Team USA, and they put the first point on the board in the second set, picking it up where they left off after that dramatic closer in the first. Lupo of Italy finally starts to find the shots and some of the answers to challenge the American game.
And the United States picked up, though, where they left off at the end of that set. I think the ball was either blocked or hit in the top of the net. Phil was there, and so now a little error by Phil. I think that might have been the first serious error by the United States. They're playing flawless volleyball, and Italy, you know, they are going to come out a different team. They're not going to roll over for you. This is a silver medal Olympic type team, and they've played Phil and Nick before. Phil and Nick, 3 out of 4 meetings have gone their way, and they'd like to keep that trend going, but watch for the adjustments by Italy.
It's a good point that you make, Dane, that 3-1 head-to-head stat for Team USA, but the Italians haven't beaten them for 2 years. You have to go all the way back to 2016, and I think that, again, is giving an air of confidence about the American duo's performance. Here's Lucena at the net, cross-court. Good pick-up from Lupo, who looks to finish. 4 hits from the Italians.
Yeah, and that ball just didn't clear the net. When you get that 4 contacts, usually on the 3rd contact, when the attacker swings, it doesn't hit the block, it just hits the net and goes back on the same side.
Dalhausser with service. 38-year-old from Manhattan Beach, California. Foot fault this time from Big Phil Dane, something we very rarely see.
Yeah, it looked like he threw his toss a little too far into the court. It's so important, the toss, and we don't really note it very much because these players are so accurate. They throw the ball exactly where they want it, but every once in a while, if they're off by a couple feet, you'll see a footfall. Now some unforced errors, too. We've seen Phil hitting the ball into the net. That ball goes long, so a couple of points, kind of gimmies to Italy, and that's what has made Phil and Nick so strong this week. They haven't been giving up free points to anybody.
It's almost an identical situation that we saw in the opening set. A 3-point lead to the Italians at 5-2. Nicolai finally starts to get that big power serve into the American court, but Dalhausser replies with the same attacking style. Look at this save from Italy. But they're out of position, and Dalhausser makes the Europeans pay. Spectacular beach volleyball, but the point on the board for the Americans.
But you got to give it to Italy. I mean, they are going all out on every play. They're so out of sorts here. About 45, 50 feet from the net is Paolo Nicolai. Gets the ball over, and Phil and Nick do the smart thing. They don't wait for Italy to set up their defense. They strike on the 2nd contact, and that can swing some momentum the United States way. Wow, it's fun to watch the pursuit of the Italians on these broken plays.
Here's Nicolai-Lupo for Team USA with the service. Nice jump flow, cross court to Nicolai-Lupo with the set. And Phil Dalhausser keeps marching on with that impressive tournament block stats. Up to 43, Dane, I make it.
Yeah, it's whether that early one counted, 43 or 44, but this one is beautiful. It's so easy to get tooled in this position where the hitter hits and the ball ricochets out of bounds, but Phil somehow controls that block by having his hands in the perfect position and gets the point.
It's the same attack from the Italians, goes over the block. Oh, and finally, the big man of Italy gets the ball and gets the open court. 203 centimeters, 6'8", Nicolai of Italy keeps the break on the side of the Europeans at 6-4. His partner Lupo takes service. Serving Dalhausser. Here he comes on the attack. Power play from Big Phil. And that's why they need to keep the service to Lucena, surely, Dane.
Yeah, you just don't want to deal with Phil. At times, you know, every once in a while he'll give up a point, but his size and his arm swing is just too hard to track. Usually teams opt to try to run down Nick's shots, but Nick usually holding his own. There's another tough serve by the United States.
And Big Phil puts it away beautifully to tie the scores at 6-all. Let's not forget that the Americans have already wrapped up the first set at 21 points to 12. Italy must win this second set to stay in the match.
Italy sure did come out on fire here in the second set, but the United States have put that fire out and they've got the scores all level.
Oh, again, brilliant play from Dalhausser. He just doesn't quite get the direction of the ball this time, Dave.
Well, that's the hard thing. When the hitter's outside the antenna, outside the court, ripping it back into the court, it's so hard to block that angle inbounds. And he tries, and he got it on the last one, but that one, a little too tough, ends up out of bounds. Great play by Paolo Nicolai.
Oh, and there's Nicolai's first service ace. Well, we've watched him miss a few, we've watched him play a few short, but he finally gets that power serve right on the mark. Lucena has no answer.
And for Italy to win this thing, it is going to have to turn up the serving, just like we saw. A little more of that, make sure it inbounds. But Paolo Nicolai struggled last night. He would get one in, and then the next one would be out, just like happened there. You get some momentum, and you put the team a little bit on their heels, and then you let them off the hook right there. So unfortunate for the Italians then.
7-8, Lucena with service. Nicolai sets the ball for Lupo to attack. Oh, look how, again, Dalhausser just hanging in the air. Perfect timing.
That was incredible. That's what I'm saying. Phil is locked in. He knows about this shot. He has done his homework. He's doing a delayed block, going up, and look at how long his frame is, throwing it back down. I've gotten the official count. That is 5 blocks for Big Phil, 44 on the tournament.
Good shot from Lupo.
Yeah, Lupo realized, kind of needed to calibrate that ball had to go another 2 feet higher to get over Phil, and he corrected it on that last attack.
Good set for Lucena. Wow, he puts it out of play. Lovely cut on the ball, great angle, but just a little too much power on it. Just the wrong side of the line.
Just out of bounds, solid block by Nicolai. They're going to continue to try to pressure Nick, and that one out of bounds. So once again, letting the Americans off the hook with a missed serve. And the United States very fortunate because Italy hasn't positioned themselves to really feed off of that momentum.
Phil Dalhausser showing the Italians that he has a power serve as well. Good cover from Nick Lucena. Good blocking, though, from Nicolai for Italy. Dalhausser here over the top of the block. Well, that's what I like about Big Phil Day. It's not all about boom, boom, boom. There's a lot of finesse, a lot of skill, and brilliant timing to his play as well for such a big man.
He's just so smart. There you see Nick laying it out, getting the ball up in the air. And then Phil, as you mentioned, Nick, he's got the finesse as well. It's the smart shot. That's what makes Phil so great, is his ability to know what shot to use at the exact right time.
Scores all tied at 10-all. The USA lead 1-0. Dalhausser with the service. Oh, big kiss off the tape of the net. Lupo has no choice to go over on 2. Lucena scrambling, did so well to get to the ball there, but it gets tangled in the net. And at 21 points total on the board, we take a technical timeout and a 1-minute break for the two teams out on center court. Well, Dane, let's have a close look at the Italian serve placement. And I have to agree, I think it's the right way. The majority of their service play going to Lucena to keep the attacking game of Phil Dalhausser as much as they possibly can out of the way.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Is it working? You're down a set, and Nick's doing his job. That was always the big question. Nick knew, playing with Phil again, with these international competitions, that, wow, would you get a lot of serves. Looking at the stats right there, 5 blocks to 2, Phil leading there, but Nick gets every serve, and he steps up to the challenge. And so, yeah, you think that's the way to go, but is it? You only got a 1-point lead and you're down a set, so you keep on that game plan, and Nick just continues to make you pay for it. So it's something to think about.
Something to think about for the Italians. Also something to think about down with Team Italy. Lupo doesn't seem to be hitting the ball hard. A lot of touch, a lot of class and style, but no hard hits.
Yeah, he may have injured himself.
Well, at the halfway point of set 2, the Americans locked in battle with the European champions from Italy. 7 times the best FIVB best blocker, Phil Dalhausser, And of course, Nicolai, the best blocker of the 2016 season. But Phil Dalhausser's block really has been one of the key characteristics to the Americans' success in this gold medal match. Here's Dalhausser on the attack, and that is a very impressive shot coming out of the tech timeout, tying the scores at 11 all day.
What makes that so impressive is the pass wasn't really on point. The United States a bit out of system, and those are the most difficult points to score. But when you overcome that, it's really going to give you a lot of confidence in your point scoring opportunities. Oh, there's a shank, and that'll be chalked up as another ace for the United States. And a little float serve really catching the Italians sleeping there. U.S. up 12-11. Look at that ball drop. The platform is not there to pass. It shanks to the left, and we've seen Italy really getting sandy.
Good shot from Nicolai, right on the baseline. Scores are all tied at 12 all, but this second set is a must-win for the Italians, with Lupo at the back of the court, ready to serve. We've been saying the Italians need to mix it up a little. They continue to serve to Nicolai-Lucena. There's the set from Dalhausser. Great cover from Lupo. Can he finish it? Over on two from Phil Dalhausser. In the tech timeout, we were saying we want the Italians to mix it up. The Americans have heard us because they're mixing up their play, and it is frustrating Team Italy.
It is, and that play was calculated right here. After Lupo roll shots it, Nick says, I'm going to tee you up. He pushes it to Phil's right shoulder, and what does Phil do? He whips that ball to the ground before Italy can get set up once again.
Advantage back with the Americans. Oh, and that's another serve receive, not of the quality that we'd expect from Nicolai. Dalhausser. Oh, good cover from Lupo. Can he finish? Dalhausser with another block at the nets.
Oh, and he made up for it. He was not happy on that roll shot that Lupo actually got there, and then instead of getting frustrated, he gathered his block and put it away. Another tough pass by the Italians, who have been really reeling. And there's the shot Phil wasn't too happy with. He gets his composure, gets up, presses into the angle with that right hand, and another stuff block. 45 on the tournament for the best blocker in the world, Phil Dalhausser.
Team Italy have called a timeout to try and find the answers to the Americans.
Stand up and do your best dance moves. Check yourself out. Yeah. Work it, girl. Oh, okay. Dance, dance. Yes, give me your best dance. Come on. That's good. Nice hands back there. Do the dance moves. That's how everybody. All right, you stand up and give me your best moves. There you go. Nicely done. It's not the simple can. Put the kid down. All right, here we go.
On fire is the word from the crowd, and that is two simple words to sum up Team USA here. To be brutally honest, we thought here in the commentary box Italy would give them a harder chase. That is not the case. Phil Dalhausser with service, 14 points to 12. The break is on the cards in the second set for Team USA. Italy have just called a timeout, a 1-minute break, and that has worked well for Italy. Breaking the rhythm or the concentration of the Americans, that is a big point on the board for the Italians.
Yeah, the Italians have been scrapping so much. At one point, we thought that Paolo Nicolai might have jarred his shoulder and wasn't swinging, but he put that to rest right there with bouncing the ball into the grandstand.
What?
Oh, Phil, a little fire of his own going right back at him. It's funny how if one player shoots, sometimes the next player shoots. It's kind of contagious. One player brings the heat, and then the next player tries to outdo it. Phil just thundering this ball, challenging Lupo to make the defensive play.
A service error there from Nicolai-Lucena. Italy take a point back in this rally point scoring match. 15 points for the USA, 14 for Italy. Italy with service. Float serve from Lupo. Nice set for Lucena. And makes it count. The break is back on for Team USA at 16-14. If they take this second set, they take the gold and the $40,000 check to go with it. Phil Dalhausser. Big serve at Nicolai. Oh, and that's out of play. And they're wearing the Italians down here, Team USA. The European champions are struggling to find the answers.
Yeah, that ball out of bounds, trying to hit that corner. And this is what the United States did last heat, right? That midway point, as you get to the end, they start to shift gears. You have to have that other gear and really step it up a notch. And now they're getting a little separation from the Italians.
Phil Dalhausser. That one's a little too big. No worries with the temperature or the humidity. The wind is swirling, but because of the grandstands here, it doesn't really affect the heart of the center court. This is the perfect arena for beach volleyball. And this Fort Lauderdale major is looking good for Team USA. Another great strike from Phil Dalhausser, 18-15. Having won the first set 21-12, they're starting to take command.
That was awesome. Away from body, avoiding the block, avoiding the defender, and right now, frustration seems to be setting in a little bit for the Italians, who have tried to switch things up, but it seems like the United States has all the answers. That ball out of bounds and no touch, and it's now 19-15. Just 2 points away, the United States, from bringing home the gold. That ball actually hit outside of the antenna.
Service error from Nicolai-Lupo. Fires that ball into the net. A side switch with a calculation of 7 points plus on the board. Now, this will be the last chances for the Italians to try and stay in this match, to try and take it to a third set. Lupo float serves Lucena. There's the set from Dalhausser. Quick Nick puts the ball into the hands of Lupo, who's struggling at the back of court. It is match point for Team USA. And it is just 1 point away for the Americans for the perfect start to their 2018 campaign. Phil Dalhausser from California looks to wrap it all up. Jump float to Nicolai. Lupo is in trouble. Phil's there at the net. The joust is on. Lucena with a set for Phil Dalhausser. And Nicolai keeps Italy in the game. Nicolai keeps the European hopes alive. Great block from the big Italian. And it couldn't have come at a more important moment in the game. Still match point for the USA. But Italy are here to play another point. Can it be more? Can they tie the scores? It's a real mountain for Italy to climb. Nicolai with the service. The Americans looking to wrap it up. Into the net. It's all over from heroes. Nick Lucena and Phil Dalhausser have taken the first major of 2018, and they have taken it in style. They have not dropped a set throughout the whole tournament. Dalhausser is the biggest and best blocker of the whole tournament. And America have pulled off the biggest event of the 2018 season so far, with a win in front of the American crowd, and they have won it in style. The European champions from Italy, the Olympic silver medalists, had no answer. 21-12, 21-17. Dalhausser and Lucena have played some of their best volleyball, some may say of their careers here this week at the Fort Lauderdale Major. The way they destroyed the Latvians in the semis, and the same, they pick it up where they left off in Hamburg, where they won the World Tour Finals for 2017. 2-0, USA against Italy, with a brilliant display of world-class beach volleyball. Let's go down into the heart of the center court, hear from our reporter Dane Blanton, who's joining the celebrations of Team USA.
First off, you guys, really congratulations. Just spectacular volleyball being played, such a high level. You look like you're in mid-season form. Tell us about how much this crowd here pushed you to the gold.
Oh, shit. Sorry. This is awesome. This is a dream come true. This is where I started playing, and to see my friends and family here, and oh man, yes, good.
You guys started on the domestic tour in the United States, won your first event in 2005. Phil, reflect on how 13 years later you're still playing together and you're the best team in the world.
Oh man. It's tough to reflect on right now, but I just want to say we haven't thanked them all weekend. Our coach, Ginger Ninja, I don't know where you are, but he's done it. There he is. He's done a great job all week scouting, and man, we just played good ball all weekend, and we stayed steady. And Nick played great this finals, and I just want to thank everyone coming out. You guys have been great all week.
Let's break down this match a little bit, because last night it was entertaining. The Italians on their game, you on your game. We knew this was going to be a battle, but you came out right away. What was the game plan to stop Lupo and Nicolai?
I think get them out of the system. They're such a great team. Lupo is one of the best side-out players. Nicolai's so physical, and at the last minute, I started jump serving. It wasn't part of the plan, and we were able to get him out of system early. And Phil's just he's the best blocker in the world, so to have him, it makes a difference.
You guys, congratulations. You look like you're in mid-season form. What's in store for the next couple months?
Well, we're going to hop on a plane right now to go to Doha, Qatar, and hopefully we keep this level up there and win another one.
All right, give it up for your 2018 Fort Lauderdale Major Series gold medalists, Phil Dalhausser and Nick Lucena.
Yeah. Well, what an intriguing interview. Emotional moments for Nick Lucena in front of his home crowd here in Florida, where he works at one of the local universities. And the match stats, for me, are just so impressive with the blocking. 6-3 for Dalhausser against Nicolai. The Italians came with the best game they possibly could, but Team USA just kept the momentum flowing, not dropping a set throughout the whole of the tournament, and they really did produce some spectacular beach volleyball. And the Americans have beaten the best of Europe. Latvia in the semi-finals, Italy in the finals. And as Dane said in that wonderful interview down there, if they can maintain this momentum throughout the season, well, Team USA will be the team to meet. And here is the big trophy. What a special moment. Dr. Ari Gracia, the president of the FIVB, presenting the trophy to the winning American team. They've been second here, they've been third here. Finally, it's the gold medal and the top of the podium for this American duo that have inspired beach volleyball players around the world. Let's not forget they won in Switzerland, and they'll be heading to the next major on the beach volleyball tour in Gstaad later this year. But here in front of the home crowd, you can see it as an advantage, you can see it as extra pressure. But the American duo of Phil Dalhausser and Nick Lucena have used that crowd to boost their play, enjoy their game, and take the gold.
I mean, originally everything they could get, but now they get this title, the very, very first major series.
Well, the first major of the 2018. The Fort Lauderdale major has been a true success. 6 days of some fantastic beach volleyball, played by day and playing by night. The American fans have come to see their heroes play. Phil Dalhausser and Nicolai-Lucena have not once disappointed the local beach fans here as they take top position. From Nick Fellows and from Dane Blanton, many thanks for your company. This is just the start of what promises to be a great season of beach volleyball. Until the next round, it's goodbye for now. One more scene to be set here at the Red Bull Beach Arena, and that is the award ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, Beach Major Series 2018 Fort Lauderdale awarding ceremony. Please welcome all the people behind this event who make the tournament happen. Give a big hand to our referees.
Well, joining me back in the commentary box is the Olympic champion, Dane Blanton. Dane, congratulations. Great interview with Nicolai-Lucena and Phil Dalhausser there. And some athletes see the home crowd as adding to the pressure, but the Americans here today really bonded with the crowd and were almost lifted by this capacity audience today.
Yeah, I would agree 100%. It can go both ways, right? You can get a little nervous because you're playing in front of the home crowd. Not Phil and Nick. They used it to really take their game to another level, and you could just see the appreciation in their voice and really acknowledging some of their support staff and their coaches and family. And it's just a really a great opportunity for them to come home, as I mentioned, 13 years after they won their first event domestically. And, you know, right now they're the best team in the world.
Quite an emotional moment for Nicolai-Lucena after your interview. He climbed up the railings into the crowd, something that they're not supposed to do, to hug his father. A very, very emotional moment for Nick. He really is the local hero here.
Yeah, absolutely. And these guys, I mean, they're role models. They're heroes, man. Whether you like it or not, people are looking up to them. They're playing some of the best volleyball I've ever seen. But aside from playing volleyball, Nick and Phil are just great guys. They're great sportsmen, and they are fair players.